Hello and welcome back to Tomska's Turbo Punch podcast. The podcast of Tom and it's Tom and there's a podcast and it's a podcast and I'm here too. Today's episode is brought to you by a bear with a hat. Oh, how did that get there?
Tomska's Turbo Punch podcast.
Hello there, so my name is Thomas Tomska Ridgewell. If you don't know who I am a YouTuber person who makes comedy videos that at least 5 people find funny. Hooray! So, I am in my offices, the Turbo Punch offices, and I thought I'd introduce everyone else who is in the office today. So here comes my camera. So here's Crystal. Crystal, what are you doing over there? Working. Boring. So yes, we have Elliot editing over here, and Crystal, and a man with a box. Hello. How are you doing, friend?
You okay?
I'm good. Ignore what's behind me. Just ignore it. It's easier that way.
Some attention.
Plausible deniability. Well, that was exciting. While I was talking, a man with a box full of t-shirts arrived to give us the t-shirts that we're going to be selling at a convention. So I think I'll talk about that first. So basically, every May and October, I do the London MCM Expo, which is basically the biggest sort of comic convention we have here in the UK, and it's pretty awesome and it's pretty crazy. And I started doing it a few years ago, just manning a tiny little table, and it has since grown into this massive thing where we meet maybe 1,000, 2,000 people in one weekend, and it's crazy. And it's the last weekend of every October and every May, but they're also in Glasgow and Birmingham and Manchester and all these places. I'm going to try and go to more of them, but it's crazy. But that's where I'm going to be the last weekend of this month, the weekend of the 24th, 25th, and 26th. And I'm going to be selling t-shirts and posters and meeting people and hugging people, and it's going to be pretty awesome. And I'm going to be on stage as well, taking questions live and also premiering some new videos and previewing some stuff, which I'm pretty excited about. So if you're there, come see that. I am on stage on the, I don't know if it's the main stage or just the VidFest stage, which is the name of our little section. I am on stage at 5 PM on Saturday and 1 PM on Sunday. So do come, it's good fun, I like it. This year I don't have Mind Turtle plushies, but in May we will do. And we've been working on them, and they look like this. Look at these adorable little things. The design is quite inspired by this one little Mind Turtle that someone once gave me at a convention, and I thought, these are awesome, we should do these for real. And they will have little sound boxes that you press them and they go, hello! But for now, the temporary one is Godzilla. So, there's that.
And now, a cow pretending to be a man. Alan, are you a cow? What? No.
Yeah, me neither. You guys want to go skateboards? So we just released Aston Movie 8, which was quite an intense feat because me and Ben were up working on it until about 5 AM because I'm awful, and I basically just go, hey, Ben, the next Aston movie's coming in 3 days. Sorry. It's a strained relationship, but he's absolutely incredible to work with, and we get the job done. And I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry for what I put you through. It's terrible, I know. But we have good fun. So Aston Movie is out, and if you haven't seen it, then clearly you don't follow me on Twitter because I've tweeted about it a million times, and I'm sorry about that, but that is because it basically only got sent out to about 10-20% of my subscribers maybe, which has kind of helped the video to stall a bit. So hopefully we can get better. Who is eating over there? No, Crystal, no cookies for you. So there's a lot of views that the video is missing, but hopefully it will pick up. I don't know. I get a lot of comments whenever an Aston movie comes out from people telling me that it's not good anymore, or or it's just like, oh, they're too old for this. And my response to them is, well, yeah, you probably are too old for it, because I make it for like 12 to 15-year-olds, and if specifically like me, age 12 to 15, what I found funny, and if you still have that sense of humor, then that's wicked, because, I think I'd probably still find it kind of funny if I watched it at the age I am now, but, like, yeah, there's a good chance a lot of people are too old for it. It's made for kids. That's the target audience. And yes, it is very violent and intense, but, I mean, come on, kids are playing Grand Theft Auto, they're watching action movies, like, I think they can handle some cartoon violence of, shut up. But, yeah, I think it's quite good, so hope you liked it. Please, just gotta start working on the next one now, though, because that's my life. Okay, so that's enough about stuff that's already been done. Let's talk about stuff that's coming up, because boy, is there a lot of it. I slacked off for the entire year, but now that I have a company and an office and stuff, I'm going to try and get videos out weekly on every Thursday or Friday, because, you know, I need people to know that I still make videos, and, you know, if I just keep on this current path, then my YouTube channel is going to become completely irrelevant and not something I can afford to do anymore, which would be awful. I have no idea what I'd do after YouTube. I just burped. So, what is coming up next? Well, yesterday we shot The Confession 2, which is similar to The Confession 1 in that it's, you know, there's people and there is a confession involved, but it is completely different in terms of the plot. So I'm quite excited for it. I worked with a lot of great people on it. I worked with Alice, Alice Ann Stacey, the actress who I mentioned in the last podcast. Elliot is also a co-star in it, and I worked with a really, really cool new director of photography, Benedict Spence, who I found on a kind of training day that I was on, and he's just this really incredible DOP, and he was just interested to just work on a kind of an internet sketch instead of like the kind of more mainstream professional, no, we're not professional, stuff that he normally does. So yeah, it's really cool. Here is a clip from it. I say clip. Here is an outtake, at least. I don't want to spoil it too much. It's going to come out in like 2 days. You can handle it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Action!
Alright, scumbag.
When I was 12, I peed on my dog. Just right on him.
Excuse me.
You up first.
Right now, Crystal is over there working on our next live action sketch, which we're hopefully shooting this weekend, and it is called Epic Girlfriend Pranks, which is a video I've wanted to do for quite a while, and it's just kind of a silly parody of prank videos, kind of fused with a sketch. It's pretty insane, and I need to get up with Eddie again and finish writing it and kind of figure out exactly what's happening in it, but it's gonna be intense. There might be a crossbow, so yeah, wait to see how that's going to turn out. I am going to need extras, though, when we shoot it. So stick around on Twitter, because I might be putting out a casting call for extras for Saturday or Sunday to play wedding goers in a church. So if you're in London and you're free, then cool times. Also being worked on right now is a video game parody sketch video thingy, which I'm working on with the very cool Mr. Matt Lay, who is an animator man. And basically, it's going to be this kind of sketch show parody of video games, all kind of like 16-bit old school style video games. And it's not the kind of video I'd normally make, but I really want people to know about the game we're working on, Cat Attack. So when to announce the launch of the game, I'm going to be putting out this video to be like, hey, there's also a game out. So hopefully people will watch that and be like, ooh, this is funny, and also there is a game. Let's check that out. So, yeah, here are a few kind of stills from that. There's not really much else to show yet, but it's coming. It's coming. The final thing I want to talk about before I move on to taking your questions is my weight. And I don't really want to talk about it, but seeing as how keen everyone else is to talk about it, I might as well kind of get it out of the way. So, basically, I have gained a lot of weight recently. There's a couple of reasons for that. The main reason, obviously, is that I ate a lot of food and didn't exercise, but one of them is I was on some very strong medication, and I just didn't, like, I didn't know that one of the massive side effects of this was an increased appetite, like a really increased appetite, and, oops, basically. You know, obviously I am aware that I've gained weight, and I want to, you know, lose weight, but and I'm aware of how ill I am. Like it's making me ill, and I'm very sick, and my skin is just breaking and stretching, and it's not even slightly okay. But it's really shitty when people constantly are writing comments about it and tweets about it, because obviously, yeah, I have noticed. And what's also pretty bad is, like, it's also really frustrating when people, you know, start fighting in the comments about it, not just like defending me, but just having fights about it, and it's just awful. And I wish people would just, you know, essentially just fuck off. Like, I'm making, I'm doing this live action video right now. We were editing The Confession 2, and we've got a couple more coming. And I just know that so many of the comments on this thing, we're going to put loads of artists are going to put hard work into it. In the scripting, into the cinematography, into the music, the sound design, the editing, and the comments are just going to be, the guy in it is fat, like, cool, good job, you noticed. It's frustrating, and there seems to be this And the only way I could prevent those comments would be to make the jokes specifically about how I'm overweight, because apparently if you're overweight you can't make jokes about anything else, because when people have prejudices and that shit, you have to really just play into it. So, you know, if you're an ethnic minority, or if you're a different, or if you're gay, or if you're overweight, you have to make jokes about those things, because otherwise, you know, people are just gonna be like, well, no, the jokes I want you to make is jokes about the things that I'm thinking about you, because if you don't make them, then I'm gonna have to make them, and then I gotta be the bad guy. And it's like, just really awful and really shitty. So I am gonna lose some weight, but I am also gonna have to drop out of being in front of the camera for a while I do that, because it's just really demoralizing, and it just makes me not want to do shit when all the focus is on that. And not just that, but like even the nice people who are defending me, like even that is really stressful, and it's just so yeah. But on that cheery note, let's take some questions.
It's question time.
Okay, it's question time, and I'm going to try not to spend half an hour on the questions this time like I did last time. I'm just going to try not to ramble so much, which I'm doing right now, so I'm off to a really, really, really good start. Okay, Cameron asks, how does having your own company help when buying props and equipment? It's actually pretty helpful when it comes to buying the weapons behind me, because I am a registered film company, a registered like film and theatre and whatever company, so that means that I can buy these in the UK without having to get a United Kingdom Airsoft Retail Association license, which is basically the license you get if you play a lot of Airsoft, and it's like, okay, this person really does need Airsoft guns, because all the guns behind me are either replica or deactivated or Airsoft. So being a company allows me to buy that, but also I'm VAT registered, which means I get a few kind of, I guess, tax breaks on businessy things. So yeah, that's pretty helpful. Fantastico asks, what do you do when your phone battery dies and you're somewhere outside? Mostly I just cry, but yesterday I managed to lose my phone. I left it in the cab on the way to a shoot, and I spent the entire day without a phone, and luckily someone handed it in, and I had to go pick it up from the police at the end of the day, which was really weird, spending the entire day dressed as a police officer, pretending to be one, and then ending the day at a police station. But yeah, mostly I'm just useless. I don't even know what to do with my life when I don't have a phone, which is sad. Jack asks, anything you would have changed about your YouTube history? Basically, I think I would have just been less of a dick at the start. I think I've just made a lot of poor choices and decisions, and I think I've just been quite a shitty person to a lot of people. People that considered me a friend, people I considered friends, you know, my audience, and I just think that I would go back and I would just be more respectful of everything, because, you know, it wasn't like I wasn't prepared for everything that came with being who I am and what I do, so I was just a bit of a prick. Rob asks, on your live action work, what audio kit do you and your crew use? Well, basically we use a boom mic on a boom pole, which kind of looks a bit like this. This one is in a dead cat, which is the big fluffy thing that, so if you're outside, it'll get rid of all the wind noises and stuff. The shoot we were doing yesterday, we actually had this in the dead cat all day, which was a really bad idea, because that's made it so that it's quite bassy. Basically, we screwed up. You shouldn't have it in a dead cat when you're inside, really. Don't do that. But yes, I think the microphone we use the most is a Rode NTG3. So Elise asks, do you plan on making any more games in the future? Perhaps on console this time? Yes, I absolutely do. I really want to make games, and I want to just jump straight into more games as soon as Cat Attack is out, because I like telling stories, and I just want to do more cool things. I have one that I want to do, which is like a kind of like hack and slash running game where you play as a princess, and she's got a sword, and she's cool, and basically I don't really know anything about Gamergate, but from what I've gathered, it just seems to be a lot of guys getting angry at women, so I think I should just make more games with women. I mean, if it pisses them off, it's absolutely worth it. Dan asks, what has been the most fun short you've ever produced, and why? And what idea have you most wanted to do but haven't been able to yet? I guess the most fun we've ever had kind of doing a shoot was probably Sergeant Pugsley, because that was just crazy. It was this absolutely huge, massive thing, and we were all running around, and there were guns, and there was an adorable little pug which we weren't legally allowed to film because it was a diva. I don't even understand. That was a lot of fun. But what idea have we most wanted to do yet but haven't been able to? I guess it'd be some of the short film ideas I wanted to do, because they're just so big. You know, because the only things that I make on YouTube that really turn a profit are the animations. The live action things are mostly just made for fun. because they either will just break even or they will run a loss on money. Like a short film is absolutely pretty much out of the question at this point, because it's even more money to make, and it will generate even less revenue than a very YouTube-y sketch. So I think is the biggest problem, is not being able to do that. But hopefully we'll be able to do that in the future. Short films. Maggie asks, how are you doing, and how is Eddsworld coming along? I'm happening. Eddsworld, however, is doing really well. There's currently 2 episodes being animated right now. One by Creed, who is just absolutely incredible, and he's gonna be taking on a few more Eddsworld projects immediately after he's finished with this one. And also Sandra, who is just a great artist. She has an incredible style, very kind of like Ren and Stimpy, very old school. It's awesome. And I guess I should play you a couple clips from those, seeing as you were so kind to ask.
Hey, nice satellite, loser!
Eduardo.
How many channels you get on that thing?
1,000, actually.
That all? This baby's nuclear powered. We get channels from space.
I'm so confused.
Jeremy asks, is it your plan to start filming videos about your being an ally to the LGBT community, and thanks for trans inclusion? I'm very... I don't know about using the word, like, ally and stuff, because it just always seems to come with really weird connotations, but yeah, I do want to do, you know, more things that... about, like, just people, and just like, I want more people to be aware of each other and less shitty. So basically, yeah, I just want to make more videos and include more characters and more just people who are representative of all the different people. I mean, there are more videos I want to do about issues like sexism and stuff, but and I guess transphobia and stuff. But the fact is, I'm not an expert on transphobia. I am like the straightest, whitest, cisgenderedest dude there is, and while I do mean well, I think that I do screw up a lot when I tackle these kind of issues. So I guess the best I can do is kind of just like do very introductory things like, hey, this is a thing, and then let people kind of figure it out for themselves. I do have one big video plan called I Am a Sexist, which is very much a kind of clickbait title, but it's going to be kind of my video about sexism and the patriarchy and all this stuff. And it's not going to be me being like, I am a feminist expert on things. It's going to be hopefully me being like, hey, this is a topic, this is a thing. In the same way that like with How to YouTube and the sex talk, it was kind of just more an introduction to this topic. I hope to just like do a hey, my young predominantly male audience, here is a thing, let's think, maybe. So yeah, I want to do more videos relating to issues, but I also want to just like kind of slow burn and just kind of include more and just be a force for good stuff. Alex asks, do you hang around with the people you film with when you're not working, or is it a work relationship? There is pretty much no divide between work and not work. The best I have is you know, trying to make sure that I don't work at home, and when people are at my house, we're not working. But to be honest, it's like, it's my hobby, it's my passion, it's my job, and it's the basis of all of my friendship. So it's pretty intertwined. Yeah. Sean asks, how do you get ideas for your Asta movies? Well, basically, I kind of just have to wait and just hope for ideas. It's really awkward when I try to force them. And that's why it takes like an embarrassingly long time to make each one, like 9 months, because I try not to force them. I try to let them come, and the ones that I do just force, I think, are pretty awful. There's in Asta Movie 8, there's a few jokes that just are kind of born out of necessity. But actually, those ones I think are pretty good. Like the opening gag with the "But mother, I love him." And actually, the cow was originally just a gag on its own. It was just going to be, you know, just the cow. And now a cow pretending to be a man. But then I thought, hey, I like doing recurring gags, and people just seem to really like them, and it would be nice to have a new design to put on a shirt or a poster or something. So I was like, cow, more cow, have lots of cow. Even though there were mostly babies in that one. Babies should really have been the theme, but cows... Samantha asks, what is your favorite movie? It's probably 17 again. I'm not gonna lie, I love that movie so much. It's just really funny, and it's got a really great cast, and every character and every actor in it is just so perfect, and they complement the narrative, and it's just a really solidly written comedy movie. But also a lot of movies by Chris Miller and Philip Lord, so like 21 Jump Street, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the Lego Movie, like they're just amazing, and I want to meet them and hang out with them. So a lot of the things they do. Another one of my favorite movies is Gross Point Blank, which is a John Cusack movie. I like movies, mostly comedy though, like just comedy that's easy to pop in and just watch again and again. But then again, I also have a very pretentious like understanding of the difference between movies and films. So if you ask me what my favorite films are, that's a very different question. Richard the Walker asks, what do you plan on doing once YouTube eventually dies down? And do you work for clients external to YouTube? Yes, I do work with a lot of brands. I touch on that a bit in How to YouTube. Yeah, I work with different clients to do things. But if and when YouTube dies down, and let's be honest, it probably will, I hope that I have enough of a foothold in the industry that I can just try and transfer into making a TV show or making a movie, because that's what I want to do. As long as I'm making comedy, that's all I really need to be happy, is that I'm just making stuff. Charles asks, have you ever done a collaboration / worked with other YouTubers on a project you feel did more harm than good? Yes, I think the video that I did that kind of boned up my channel a bit would have been Party Surprise, which I did with the Cinemates, and also Victoria Spunger in the background. So basically I worked with loads of really funny people, and I just made a video that just didn't really work out that well. I think one of the biggest problems with that video is genuinely the way it's shot. The fact that the action's happening on the left of the foreground action is on the left of screen, and the background action is in the right of screen. So a lot of people didn't notice the background action because your eyes read left to right. So I should have put the background action on the left hand side and the foreground action on the right hand side. But basically it just wasn't that great of a video, and it kind of scuppered up my channel a little bit, which meant people were like, oh, I'm just not going to watch this guy anymore. I call it dropping the ball, which is basically when a YouTuber has made too many kind of rubbishy videos in a row, or hasn't made a video for so long, and when they do make a video it's not that good. What happens is an audience just goes, even though they don't unsubscribe, they're just like, I think I'll just give the next one a miss, and then they just don't watch anymore, and that becomes an inactive subscriber, which is sad. Gay Idiot Baby, sure, asks, tips for dealing with the terrifying uncertainty and uncomfortably fast pace that come with living. Please help me. Don't ask me. I am a wreck. I can't handle life. No. Have a bath. That's genuinely like my solution to 90% of my problems, is just get in the bath and just be warm and just cozy bath. The best you got. Finally, Dylan asks, do you have any productions planned? Short film, feature film, Matthew Perry fanfic, etc. Yeah, I have loads of short films planned. Actually, like, because I need to go and sort out my body a bit, I kind of want to step back from being in front of camera, but I also, I need to keep Crystal, our producer, busy. So I think I want to start working on some short films. Where the money comes from those, I don't really know, because I'm either going to have to, like, pull out company, like, funds from other projects just to make this thing that's going to run a loss but will be cool, or find a way to fund it through either, Kickstarter, which, being that I still haven't fully delivered with the Edswell one, I don't feel comfortable with, or a direct executive producer, so one person who has a lot of money. But I do have a lot of things I want to do. I have loads of short films, loads of cool ideas. We're working on a few of them right now. And yes, I hope to do some really, really cool things in the future. And when I do, I hope you like them. Or I hope you help me make them. Or anything, really. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's it for this episode of the Tomska Turbo Punch podcast, but it is far from over, because we have also got the latest episode of the Turbo Pals podcast, which is available now to listen to. There will be a link in the description, so check out the Turbo Pals podcast. It's 50 minutes of me, Chloe, Elliot, and Eddie just rambling on about stuff, and it's a good time. So if you want to have something in your ears while you do something like cleaning or homeworks, which you totally won't pay attention to, then listen to that. But yes, thank you very much. Please come back next week when we do another one of these. Ask me questions on Twitter when I ask you to. You basically get about 5 minutes warning, so good luck with that. Yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Tomska, out. I really gotta stop ending my videos like this.